Alright, so in this video, first of all, I should speak about this grey rubber. Now this grey rubber has been used for 2 weeks. So minus 2 days of not working, it's lasted 12 days. And let's have a look at the damage, because I've only used one side of the rubber and it's a pretty well used squeegee for residential work. Can you see there's a slight bit of damage there, but that is not a problem at all. That will still work very good for another week or so. So 2 weeks, over 2 weeks actually, I did change this rubber, and it's a long-lasting rubber. It's meant to be an all-weather rubber to use. Now, I've never talked about the blue NXT because I never liked it. It squeaked. Sometimes it worked well, sometimes it didn't work well. It was like volatile. There's no point giving a review about something, and I don't want to be giving out reviews. I don't want people to go out and say, well, that guy Poles and Blaze said to get this rubber, because I don't want to do that. I can only give you my experience, and my experience with the NXT blue rubber in the past wasn't very good, so I didn't want to make any videos on it. But they've changed their formula and it now works a lot better and it glides a lot better. So there's two things I look for in a rubber: how long it lasts, or how well it lasts, and how well it works. So let's see how well it works. We know it lasts a good, well, I would say it's probably on par with Unger Green, but I think it works better than Unger Green. It doesn't squeak, it glides very well still after over 2 weeks of using it, and it works very well. No squeak, and there ain't that much solution on that glass, so it's not a saturated washer. But what I would recommend if you're using this rubber or the blue rubber is to make sure you pin your rubber, put either pins in there, or sewing pins or paper clips, shove it in, and then it's nice and tight, because this rubber will move in the channel. In this channel, who knows what if it moves in other channels, because I don't use other channels. So all I can say is it will move in this channel, so make sure you pin it. Glides well, so for over 2 weeks of work on one side of the rubber, it's in good condition. Right, the second thing I wanted to say is someone was talking about, was that offline or online? I think the second thing that I'm going to say after what I'm going to say now, it was offline. So this must have been online. So quite a number of window cleaners that I've noticed, just working as a window cleaner around the areas that I work in, they have it lots wetter than this. This is not wet at all. They go right into the frames, and if you're using this tool, you're still going to get detailing, especially on the top edge. So my previous video was about pre-detailing is good. So going right up to the edges, smashing it, banging it, and then thinking you're going to use this tool and you're going to get zero detailing, you're still going to get the drips, because it's on the frame or it's inside the frame and it's going to run down eventually. So what I say is be very delicate and precise with the squeegee technique. That goes, especially with a very saturated washer, I can go right to the edge here because it's not going to drip, it's not going to seep out. But when it's saturated, I like to keep on well-maintained windows about an inch away from the frame, and then I don't have to do the pre-detailing. I'll just put my tool in the right place at the right time, because the window is well-maintained. I don't have to worry about dry edges or issues with any scraping or juddering. Now, I haven't finished this window, so I wanted to show you on pretty dry windows that this grey rubber still glides very well and doesn't squeak. So let's finish that. Right, so the third thing I wanted to say was, a guy who I know was talking about losing customers, and well, first of all, don't try and worry too much about it. If that's the case, if you're always losing customers, we're in a really shit time right now when it comes to work and economic. And you got to understand, when you're a window cleaner, you're one of the first people to get the boot. So one customer of mine said to me the other day, we're gonna have to knock you on the head for a bit. We don't want you every week, and every week is excessive anyway. I think their windows don't get very that much dirty. If I go every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or every month, I can still one swipe with the washer and with the squeegee maybe on the doors. I might need to do a bit more scrubbing, but I'm wearing scrub gloves. Don't take it personally, don't get too worried about it. You should be able to pick up work elsewhere, hopefully, but listen to what they're saying. They can't afford it, and if they can't afford it and you're a luxury, you're going to be the first people to get the boot, unfortunately. If you're an electrician or someone who's like a needed person, it's an emergency, I need this person to do this job, they ain't gonna suffer like a window cleaner or someone else who's a luxury, like car valet and that sort of thing. You should have enough customers to get you through this really bad time, but if you don't, then you just have to deal with it however best you can. I can't give too much advice because I'm in the same boat as everybody else. I'm a luxury. But what you can do is keep your prices fair, competitive, or cheaper than everybody else. Because if you're cheaper and you're working 3 times or more times quicker than the local average window cleaner, you should be at least earning 3 times as much. So I know a lot of window cleaners say keep your prices high. Well, maybe that's not a good thing when things are really getting tough for people. I'm not saying put your prices down, but maybe not, you shouldn't raise your prices. Who knows? I don't know. I'm going through it like everybody else. But what I do know is, because I've focused on my tools and my techniques, using specific tools for my job, cutting out all the extra added rubbish that everybody else has to incorporate in their work to get a good finished job, that should be enough for you to get through these bad times. And these bad times could last for many, many years. So the good times were back then. You might not have thought they were the good times, but now looking back, they are the good times. We just have to deal with what we got. And if we lose work, maybe you can say to the customer, okay, well, don't get rid of me fully. We'll have it done every such and such instead of every week or every month, maybe every 3 months. I suppose something to have is better than to have nothing. So just be mindful that you might lose. But in the long run, you should, if you're good enough at your job and you've got loyal customers, because there's always some customers that will always have you because they can afford you. But you know, keep your fingers crossed and don't work like everybody else.